Mr. Ragg.
Congratulate the honourable gentleman member for Cambridge for leading the debate. I'm pleased to speak in it, and I want to endorse the sentiments of the petition and put on record my support for the Raise the Rate campaign. For a number of years, I've been pressing the cause of increasing the school's funding budget, which is a topic I've often repeated. But of course, as the petition rightly calls for, it's important to remember the equality for all students, both pre and post-16. And so we really need to look at ways to increase college funding to sustainable levels to give parity. The bottom line is that the sixth form and college sector does need more money. This will give all students a fair chance, give college staff fair pay, and provide high-quality skills the country needs. There's been significant interest in this issue from my own constituents, with 130 of them signing the petition. In addition, I've recently had meetings with the principal, Danny Pearson, of the Aquinas Sixth Form College, which serves my constituency so well. I also know that the principals, teachers and students of the two other local colleges, namely Cheadle and Marple and Stockport College, are keen for urgent action to be taken and will be following the outcome of this debate very closely. Sixth form funding has been subject to restrictions of funding in 2011 and 2013. The national funding rate for 16 and 17-year-olds, which is by far the biggest component of the 16 to 18 funding formula, has remained frozen each year since 2013-14. It is also the case that as well as the funding disparity between pre-16 and 16 to 18 education, there are some areas where colleges are particularly disadvantaged. For example, schools, unlike colleges, have their VAT costs refunded and receive automatically the teacher pay grant. All sixth form providers are being asked to do more by the government, from implementing the PREVENT strategy to meeting the Gatsby career benchmarks. But these requirements are rarely, sadly, accompanied by additional funding. Taken in the round, this is all having a significant impact on colleges being able to deliver the quality of education that students deserve. And I fear affecting the government in achieving its ambitions for the economy and social mobility. The situation is also having the worrying impact of the narrowing of the curriculum. The funding impact survey carried out by Raise the Rate partners showed that 50% of schools and colleges have dropped courses in modern foreign languages, 34% have dropped STEM courses, and 67% report having reduced student support services or extracurricular activities, with limitations to mental health support, employability skills and careers advice. It's a timely coincidence that the Education Select Committee, which was always chaired most ably by my right honourable friend next to me here, of which I'm also a member, is currently conducting an inquiry into both school and college funding, and we've heard evidence from the post-16 sector. When asked what was top of their wish list, witnesses agreed that the priority is higher core funding. Second, was separate funding for the increases to teachers' pay awards and pensions, as occurs in schools, and thirdly, was increased funding for the capital expansion of colleges. We also heard that the college sector would much rather have a boost of core funding than a continued run of new initiatives. Some witnesses talked of an initiative mania and suggested that narrowly targeted uplifts can do more harm than good as they displace the real issue. For instance, plans to invest in technical education, although welcome, will do very little for the vast majority of sixth form students that study an A-level or applied general course. In itself, more money for T-levels is not, I'm afraid, the solution to sixth form and college funding. To ensure that colleges can continue to deliver high-quality, internationally competitive education, the Raise the Rate campaign, as has been mentioned already this afternoon, are calling for the national funding rate for 16 to 18-year-olds to be raised by £760 per student at the forthcoming spending review, and then, as the Honourable Lady mentioned before me, raised in line with inflation each year thereafter. Recent research has found that this is the minimum of additional funding required to increase support for students and their services. This includes improving mental and physical health of students. It is needed to protect subjects that are at risk of being dropped, such as modern foreign languages. It will work to increase non-qualification time and extracurricular activities, work experience, university visits, which are vital in preparing students for the world of work or higher education and are key drivers of social mobility. Furthermore, it is important that the rate rise is an addition to, rather than instead of, funding that may be required by schools and colleges to meet new costs, such as increased employer contributions to the teacher pension scheme. I know that my right honourable friend, the Minister, is a big supporter of the further education sector and wants the very best for pupils. We have seen this take form of different support, as I'm sure she will remind us in her winding up about the new per-pupil premium funding for Level 3 maths and the £40 million of funding to establish centres for excellence in that same subject, and indeed investment in the T-levels. But I really do encourage her to go beyond those initiatives and ask our right honourable friend, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, for this desperately needed raise of the rate of the core sixth form funding. I can think of no better minister to negotiate on behalf of the college sector, and I wish her well in the process.